I will pass the microphone over to Sir Roger.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to try and do the voice, but you'll recall Churchill saying that this is not the end, and it's not the beginning of the end. But I think we can now safely say, with the purchase by River Oaks Strategic Partnership of the airfield, that it is the end of the beginning. This isn't the Battle of Britain, although sometimes it's felt like it. But in a sense, it's a battle for Britain. All right, no young lives have been lost, but I found Linda's memories of the early days of this very poignant indeed. Some of you will have been in that, in the Acorn Village Hall, which was overflowing. And some of you will remember the little girl who was sitting there, right down at the front, and whose dad was employed at the airport. And I made her a promise that we'd get it open, as Linda made a promise to her friend. And it's been a long haul since then, and those of us who were outside the passenger terminal for the final flight out can remember the tears. And we wondered, some of us, whether we would actually see the end, the beginning. But the River Oak Corporation of America, Niall Lawler, George Yarrell, Tony Freuden, and then the River Oak Strategic Partnership have been, for me, unbelievably staunch. I am astonished that they have stuck with this for so long in the teeth of so much bureaucracy and obstruction. And I think it is a huge tribute to all of the people on their team that we are now with. Craig and I, as you know, have worked together on this. There are others. There are local councillors. There's some here today. I can see Ash and Van Bambridge. I think there's one or two others present. There have been some county councillors locally who've supported us. Councillor to county council has been entirely supportive all the time. But I believe actually, and I've buried the hatchet, not in but with, that even Paul is beginning to realise that this might just happen. And of course it is tremendously important. To Thanet, yes. To Kent, yes. But also to the country. Because, as I've said before, as we leave the European Union, and I believe we will, then we're going to need freight access to much further flung places than we currently have. I was with British Airways, London Heathrow Airport, 4 years ago, at dates me as well. At a meeting in London the other day, and the chief executive was saying that they regard the development of freight facilities as paramount. But the third runway isn't going to be built for a while, and our demand is very immediate indeed, more immediate in fact than even the River Oak Strategic Partnership timescale. We're going to need those slots, we're going to need those air freighters to get to and from the places that we have to sell and buy. And had we sacrificed, had we been prepared to roll over and say, well yes, that's all fine, we will build 3,500 houses and save a bit of agricultural land, that airport would have been gone forever. There's no rowing back from it. Once you've developed it for something else, it's gone. And that's why this battle, your battle, the battle that you, each and every one of you in this room, has been fighting, is so vital in the national interest. That's why the Planning Inspectorate recognised this as a project of national importance. That's why we still have work to do. So much work has already gone in terms of the environmental impact assessment and all of the rest of it. But there's more yet to do, because we have to make sure that the development consent order goes through, that the planning aspects of this, as well as the acquisition aspects of it, are addressed, so that RSP can get on with the work that they have to do to get in the new hard standard, to build or rebuild the passenger terminal in time, to create all the freight handling facilities, to install the new radar, the new landing lights, the fire services, and all the other things that go to make up a CAA license, the license that Tony's referred to. That's still an enormous amount of work. It's still an enormous amount of money. Those of you who were present at the last barbecue will have heard me pay tribute, but you weren't all there, and I want to do it again, to the investors. I've met them. I know who they are. I also, of course, met Nick Rothwell. But those guys, nobody has infinite pockets. Those guys have put up front. Tony will correct me if I think I'm probably slightly out because it's rising daily. But somewhere in the region of £36 million of money that some councillors said didn't exist, by the way, without a single guarantee. There's no fallback for these guys. Until River Oak acquired the airport, all of that investment could have gone down the Swanee. And I think it's shown a tremendous act of faith and courage on the part of the investors that they've been prepared to back this. And the reason, or one of the reasons they've been prepared to back it, is because of you. Is because they've seen the passion that you've shown. They've seen your commitment. They've understood the argument that to us in Thanet, to us in Kent, and to us in Britain, Manston Airport matters. And we want to see planes flying again. I hope very much that Sue Girdler does come back. I know she wants to. I'd like to see the search and rescue helicopter come back. Whether that will ever happen, we'll, never say never. All sorts of things downstream are possible. But what I do know is that we are now, given a fair wind and with the consents and the approval of the DCO, on track to create those promised jobs that I said to that little girl in Acol we would create. So that her dad's lost his job, at least her generation will have a real future in Thanet, in aviation, in engineering, in freight handling, in all the ancillary services that go with an airport. That's a real future for Thanet's kids. And that matters to me and to Craig as members of Parliament, because we need those high quality jobs locally. So, to conclude, thank you all so much for what you've done and what I'm afraid you're going to have to continue to do. That Manston flag has got to be kept flying until there are wheels on tarmac.